How's it going, people? Just Kong here. Today I decided to do a video focused predominantly on how Islam has really kind of changed my life, how, I've been able to navigate. I feel like it's more important today, and this could relate, into your spirituality, whatever journey that you're going on, but I think it's important for me to kind of share my experience as a whole. For me, growing up in the society that we grew up, I think we live in a very interesting times. I feel like we're going through a transition. Things have been hyper fast through social media. Like, you look at TikTok, it's like the steroids of like Instagram. Everyone's plugged into dopamine. There's so much information, but there is a lack of wisdom, and that's what really hit home with me. I had all this information in front of me, and I had information overload, and as a result, I was basically in hyper gear, too much information overload, and it caused a lot of problems growing up because I used to look at things factually. Islam, for me, has changed my way in how I deal in every aspect of my life. Previously, before, I thought I was worried about practically every single thing. I used to look at things like, how am I going to do for work, college, uni, school, always worried about the future. And there's a thing in Islam which I really love. It's the concept of, it's called Qadr, or it's called destiny. Now, we believe that everything is preordained. Everything is kind of predestined. And that is kind of with the wisdom, with the creator. And it's not within our control. And for some reason, that gave me the most sense of peace in life. It really allowed me to realize, if it's raining outside, I can't control the weather. If something bad happens, it was meant to be. And that whole aspect of meant to be is already written. When something happens, good or bad, it was already preordained before you were born. And I feel like we're put in that environment, in that experience, so God can see how we are and how we operate, and to test us, to see not so much about, we're so focused on the problem in front of us, we're not really looking at things like, oh, this is a test, the ability for me to level up. Maybe I used to say to myself, oh, I'm so pissed off, why did God do this to me? This happened, I've lost this person, and this happened, and blah blah blah. And over a period of time, once you get into spirituality, and that's what I love also about Islam, is like you pray 5 times a day, so it's like these consistent pillars, consistent segregations throughout your day. It's split into 5 segments of peace, where you're just spiritual and you kind of put out all the outside world and you're just really closed in. And previously, before, I used to mess around, I wasn't too serious about life, blah blah blah. I've done a video about how my life changed. I practically nearly died, had an extremely bad chest infection. The doctor actually said to me, if you kept up like this and didn't come in, there was a high chance that you could have probably passed away, which was crazy at the time. It was a big wake-up call for me, and then since then, I've always never looked at life the same way. I realized how life was extremely short, and Islam really gave me that peace and serenity, allowed me to view all the problems and all the obstacles. Let me give you guys an example. Everything that happens in your life is preordained. It's nothing that you can physically go and change and do. There are some things that you have control within, that you can adjust and change, but there are some things that are meant to be, are just meant to be. When you force a situation or a circumstance or a person or a business deal, or you want to network with this person, what's meant to be is meant to be. And I really love that concept because it puts your heart at ease. It makes you realize if it was meant to be, it was meant to be. Of course, that's not to say don't try your hardest, don't go out and do what you need to do. Give it all your best, 100%, 150%, all out, all energy into it. If something doesn't happen, then what we say is that is the will of Allah. That is all down to God's what he's written for us. So leave it as it is, don't force it. And this allowed me tremendously in my relationships. Before, I was a bit socially awkward when I was a bit younger. I didn't have good social skills, and I was a bit of a, I wouldn't say eager beaver, but I was just like good energy, very enthusiastic, and I had very friendly, you could say. And being in that environment, you learn a few things. You realize never force anything. Let things be as they are. You are here. If things come, they come. If they don't, they don't. Then it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. And time again, whenever I have a sense of anxiety or I feel like something like that, because we all do, no matter what you're doing, is for some people it's a minute amount. Some people have a tremendous anxiety attacks that happen throughout their lives. The best approach and the best way to look at it is like this: is focus on what you can really control. If somebody's feeling a certain way, like a particular way, you can't control that. There's nothing that you should react or feel a certain way about how somebody reacts. The same way, if you're in a job and you're doing your best and somebody's just out to get you, just doesn't work out, whatever it may be, and you got sacked or you got fired or whatever from the job, good. You're probably designed for better things anyway. That's God saying, right, this is not for you. You're better for better things. If somebody else went in your life or whatever it may be, there's a reason for that. And that is to elevate you, to get you to the next level that you need to be, because we're not designed to be on this one level all the time in your lives. We're designed to be at a point where we elevate, we grow. We're here to kind of, think of us like a huge rock, right? And we're just sculpting who we want to be and what we want to be with like a hammer or a peck, and just peck away each time from every experience and say, right, what can I learn? And that's two things I've learned from every circumstance. You can never lose. If you have a mindset, if you have a positive mental attitude, then you always look at things like this and say, look, I could either win from a circumstance or situation, or I'm going to learn something. So if you got fired, if you got sacked, if you lost a business, if you lost a business partner, whatever it may be, things didn't go well to whatever, there's the decree of the or creator. That's the first thing that you got to factor in, that there's nothing that you could have done or changed it. It was just preordained. And the second thing is, most importantly, is what have you learned from that circumstance situation? Why are you going to this path? Ask big questions. It helps you to kind of gauge into a positive direction, rather than sitting there and beating yourself up. That's the biggest problem that I've realized a lot of people do, is they beat themselves up again and again and again and time again. Sometimes, to be honest, sometimes it creeps up, but we have to train our minds to completely eradicate that completely. And here's a good example. When carrying luggage with you from the past is very heavy on one's soul, on one's mindset, the ability for you to have the energy to go and do it. And I'm speaking firsthand from experience. And there was a very good analogy that I came across. It's like, if you put socks on and you put a rock in and you walked up and down, the pavement or the road, at one point it's going to start hurting again and again. How long could you walk like that with a sock and rocks underneath, and you'll keep pressing on, the rocks inside your socks? Eventually, you're not going to be able to walk as far as you can be. And those rocks is symbolic to us carrying, things from our past, luggage, beating ourselves up. It's just delaying the process. It's like driving with a handbrake on. You need to let go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Islam has really helped me in kind of getting a sense of peace in whatever happens, health-wise, everything-wise, and leaving it up to the Creator. And that is my positive message to you guys. And if you guys are new, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Let me know your comments below if you found it valuable, how you guys deal with it yourselves. I'd be very, very interested, always open to hearing from new ideas and how you guys deal with it. But until next time, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next one. Take care. Peace.